The war isn't out there. It's in you. It's in the temptation to be average when you were built for more. Discipline isn't about motivation. It's about making a promise to yourself and keeping it, even when no one's watching. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's choosing the hard thing again and again until it becomes who you are. That's how you separate. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you bury the version of yourself that's settled. And one day you'll realize you didn't just change. You became everything you said you would.
You don't know what you want to be because you haven't spent time, real time with yourself. Spend time with yourself. Trust me. And once you find that passion, that purpose, your goals, your purpose, everything will just start lining up.
The goal is not anything other than the feelings. We don't want the thing, we want the feeling that the things give us. The more things you need or we need to be okay, the more fragility we have.
Your potential should terrify you, not because it's dangerous or impossible, but because deep down you know it's real. You've caught glimpses of it. Those rare moments when you drop the excuses, lock in, and move like the version of yourself you're supposed to be. That flash of brilliance, that ruthless focus, that undeniable power, that's you. You are a witness to a version of yourself so powerful, so capable, so extraordinary that it should scare the hell out of you. Because if you can touch it for a moment, what would happen if you lived there permanently? It means there's no excuse left but wasted time. If you rise to meet it, your life changes.
Who says that death is not waiting behind that door right now? Every second, you are between life and death. One day, it just stays with this, then this is going to happen. So in the moment where you realize it could be my last action right now that I do, having this type of thought on the mind, it could be your last, hopefully makes you wake up to really focus on the things that are important for you.
Whenever you have that feeling that things should be happening faster, use action as your coping mechanism. I used to write this down a lot and say it, which was action alleviates anxiety.
Nothing's ever gonna be given to you. Everything's gonna be earned.
A lot of folks never even start the journey, man. They never start the journey because they're living this fake life. When you care more about how someone's judging you, you're gonna stay right there. There's no forward momentum.
Every day I wake up, I say to myself, you have two options right now. Keep dreaming with your dreams or wake up and make it reality. I chose the second option always.
But it's that 1% that we sleep on. That's why it's so easy to be great nowadays, because most motherfuckers are weak.
It's a blessing for people to doubt you. It's a blessing for people not to believe in you. It's a blessing for people to disrespect you if you know how to use it as fuel.
It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you that counts. In the final analysis, your response to the adversity of life is the real measure of who you are and what you're made of.
Pretty soon you'll go in. You have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset of everybody can go for themselves. I know what I know. I've listened to myself enough to know. I know what I know. None of you can hear what I'm hearing.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now. Empty the cup and start from the beginning.
If you're planning on being successful, you have to change this here. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is right here. It ain't no difference. It ain't none. I ain't got no more than none of y'all got.
When you persist, your self-esteem goes up. Each time you force yourself to stay in there, your self-esteem goes up. You like yourself more. You respect yourself better, feel more confident, you feel better about yourself. And in fact, in the ultimate end, you don't even mind losing because you're persistent. And here's the second thing, is persistence is self-discipline in action.
There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy, and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves.
The key to winning, the key to development, the key to progress is intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable and difficult situations.
Just work. And if you don't get what you thought you were gonna get, show up and still go to work. Because along the process, what's more important, what you acquire or who you become? And a lot of people think what they acquire is the thing that makes them who they are. No, it's who you become in the process of chasing what you want to acquire.
Every time you wanted to quit, every time life tried to break you, you chose to stand tall. That's what makes you great. It's about the grind, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the prayers you whispered when nobody was watching. It's all about those moments when you could have folded, but you didn't. You see, the underdog story is the realest story there is. Because when you come from nothing, you appreciate everything. You hustle different, you love different, and you lead different.
I really think the biggest cheat code in life is just going after it and not being concerned of whether or not you fail at one specific task. Instead, understanding the big picture, what your long-term goal is, and knowing if you keep driving forward and never quit, in the end you will succeed.
You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more. You've got to take more responsibility. You've got to deal with more ups and downs. And if we can deal with that question, how much are you willing to suffer?
No one's gonna save you. No one's gonna come out of the woods and say, hey, I got your back, man. I want to take you from all this.
What do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? So, what do you want is a very powerful question. How badly do you want it?
People won't want to hear this, but what you avoid controls you. If you avoid tough conversations, your relationships suffer. If you avoid risk, your business will suffer. If you avoid failure, your growth will suffer. If you think having uncomfortable conversations is hard, wait until you see the result of not having uncomfortable conversations. Much harder. At least for me, I just try and face the thing that I'm avoiding and constantly ask myself, like, what is that thing that I'm trying not to look at? And then force myself to stare at it, because usually the thing that scares you the most is the thing that you need most to face to move forward.
People always talk about vision, seeing your vision, seeing somebody else's vision, other people seeing your vision. Let me tell you something. Before you could see your vision, before anybody else could see your vision, the first thing they have to do is deal with what's visiting them in their nightmares. That you have to deal with before you or anybody else could see your vision.
He said the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you? Said the wealthiest place on the planet, it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. But there you'll find greatness that we've never seen. There you find talent and genius and potential never actualized. Maybe that's why some unknown writer wrote the words, "What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. That you were chosen to do something else and you didn't do it."
You want to know the secret to achieving everything that you dream about? Don't quit. See, when you know what the destination is, there's a million paths to get there. And it took me a long time to learn that the greatest moments of growth and success happen right after you feel like quitting, but you don't. That's the secret. Keep going.
If you're trying to do something exceptional, if you're trying to do something that's difficult, you don't get the luxury of kind of wanting to do it. If you kind of want to do it, you're going to lose, because you're not just competing against people who kind of want it. You're not competing against people who want it bad, but you're competing against people who need to do it. You're competing against people who have their back against the wall, who have no other choice but to succeed. That's your competition. And so if you're sitting around here saying, "Oh, well, I want to do it, but like, I have this to do and that to do," it's over. You're not going to win. The guy that has his back to the wall is going to destroy you.
Losing strips away your ego. It forces you to face the parts of yourself that need work and the truths you've been unwilling to accept. But losing isn't the end of your story. It's where the real work begins. The chance to analyze the cracks in your foundation and build something stronger. Growth happens when you fall flat, feel exposed, and have to decide whether you'll rise again. The lesson is in the loss. The win is in the comeback. If you want to go big, you can't run from failure, because it's the ticket to every breakthrough you've been chasing.
If you're seeing this, that means you're not dead. And if you're not dead, that means you woke up today. And if you woke up today, that means you were handed a goddamn gift. Because others weren't lucky enough to get that gift. And some took their last breath last night. So today, you're not wasting the day. You're making it count. Because you know you're not getting it back. So you're not taking it for granted. Today, you're doing something today that makes you happy. You've put it off long enough. Stop being scared what others think about you. You're not in high school anymore, so act like it and grow up. Their opinions, they don't matter. It's your life, not theirs. Today is your day, so make the day count. Do something today that makes you happy. Because you may not be lucky enough to get the gift of tomorrow.
We're taught to believe that control is the key to a good life. That if you can just plan everything perfectly, prepare for every outcome, and hold on tightly enough, you can avoid the chaos, the pain, the uncertainty. Control feels safe. It feels powerful. It feels like the only way to keep your world from falling apart. But here's the paradox. The tighter you hold on, the less control you actually have. The more you try to force life to fit into your expectations, the more it slips through your fingers. Because life isn't meant to be controlled, it's meant to be lived. And sometimes, the only way to truly gain control is to let go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean apathy or passivity. It means surrendering to the flow of life, trusting the process, and understanding that you don't have to micromanage every detail to create something beautiful.
Control feels comforting, doesn't it? Like if you can just hold onto the reins tightly enough, nothing bad will happen. But the truth is, control is an illusion. You can't control the weather, the economy, other people, or the random twists and turns of life. What you can control is how you respond, your attitude, your effort, your choices. That's where your power lies, not in trying to control everything around you, but in mastering what's within you. When you stop chasing the illusion of control, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to predict the unpredictable. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start focusing on the things you can.
So much of our desire for control comes from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of things going wrong. We play the what-if game in our minds. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if it all falls apart? But here's the thing. Worrying about the what-ifs doesn't change the outcome. It doesn't prepare you for the future. It just robs you of the present. Letting go means acknowledging that the future is uncertain, and that's okay. Because no matter what happens, you have the strength to face it. Trust yourself enough to know that you can handle whatever comes your way. Let go of the need to have all the answers and focus on what's in front of you right now.
Think of life like a river. You can fight the current, exhausting yourself as you try to swim upstream, or you can surrender to the flow. Surrender doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're choosing to work with the current instead of against it. When you surrender, you open yourself up to possibilities you might not have seen before. You allow life to surprise you, to show you paths you never would have chosen on your own. And in that surrender, you find freedom. Some of the most incredible moments in life happen not because you forced them, but because you allowed them. You let go of your expectations, your plans, your need to control, and made space for something greater to unfold.
Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to release your grip, to step into the unknown, to trust that even if you don't have control, you still have power. Power to adapt, power to learn, power to rise, no matter what life throws at you. When you let go, you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start focusing on what truly matters. You become more resilient, more flexible, more capable of navigating life's challenges. Identify what you can't control. Take a moment to think about the things you're trying to control right now. How many of them are actually within your power? Let go of the things that aren't. Release the weight of trying to fix what isn't yours to fix. Focus on your response. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you weather it. Shift your focus from what's happening around you to how you're showing up in the midst of it. Trust the process. Trust that life has a way of working out, even when it doesn't go according to your plan. Some of your greatest growth will come from the moments when you had to let go of what you thought should happen and embrace what actually did. Practice presence. Control often comes from living in the future, worrying about what might happen. Letting go means bringing your focus back to the present. What can you do right now? What beauty can you find in this moment? Find freedom in surrender. When you stop fighting against life, you find peace. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change and start using that energy to grow, to create, to live.
When you let go, you don't lose control. You gain clarity. You gain the ability to see life for what it is, not for what you want it to be. You gain the freedom to adapt, to grow, to move forward without being weighed down by the need to micromanage every detail. Letting go doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop clinging. You stop forcing. You stop living in fear of what might happen and start living in gratitude for what is. The paradox of control is this: the more you let go, the more power you gain. Not power over life, but power within yourself to thrive no matter what life brings. So loosen your grip, surrender to the flow, and trust that even in the uncertainty, even in the chaos, you are exactly where you're meant to be. Let go and watch your life expand.
Doing the same things, hoping to be a better person. expecting same things out of the externals, hoping that would be different. Only way that you can conquer yourself and to move past this is the renewing of one's mind.
In order for a man to gain his life, he must lose his life. So you've got to be willing to die to who you are now, to give birth to who you are to become.
Understand just how hard it is to work every single day to try to be great. Everybody is excited in the beginning. Like New Year, everybody started in January, jams packed. Every year, you get to February and March, habits matter. Habits matter. Principles matter. How you view what you're doing and trying to accomplish matters.
If you want to achieve success, you're gonna have to pay the price. And it won't be cheap. It'll be tireless nights, long days, isolation, loneliness, tribulation, heartaches, headaches, and a lot of pain. But on the other side of pain is pleasure. On the other side of pain is success.
Those who have left their mark in this world believe that they were chosen for something great. And a lot of us think that it's just the special ones who get to live out their dreams. It's not those who are special. It's those who believe. It's not those who are magically chosen. It's those who choose to be chosen.
Epictetus's question was, how much longer are you going to wait to demand the best of yourself? We all know we have potential. We all know we have things we need to stop doing. We all know we have things that we should start doing, but we tell ourselves we'll do it later. But will you?
So tell yourself the truth about the situation that you're in. That's what we need to do. And it should hurt a little bit, by the way. It should hurt a little bit. There should be aspects of your life that you know you can improve upon. That should hurt a little bit. Here's the cool thing. Take ownership of those things and guess what? Doesn't hurt at all. Now guess who's in control? You are. But if you're having trouble finding discipline, start by telling yourself the truth about what's going on.
You can have what you want in 5 years. But there's two conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want. Write it down. Figure out what you could do to start moving towards that. Develop a vision. And you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
Let me tell you a secret. Know what does when they begin. Ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clear as you work on them. You just have to get started. The idea of a single eureka moment is a dangerous lie. It makes us feel inadequate because we feel like we haven't had ours yet. And it prevents people with seeds of good ideas from ever getting started in the first place. Be prepared to be misunderstood. Anyone working on a big vision is going to get called crazy, even if you end up right. In our society, we often don't take on big things because we're so afraid of making mistakes that we ignore all the things wrong today if we do nothing.
People should know that you never will be able to go through life without failures. Failures make us learn. Failures make you stronger. Pain makes you stronger. So I think all of that is good.
Write everything you want on a piece of paper. Everything. I don't care. Use your wildest imagination. If you can think it, you can achieve it. Write it on a piece of paper. Read it every morning and every night. Come back here 1 year from today and see how much of that stuff then came true.
It's easier to live a life you hate than it is to live a life you love. Doing what you love can be hard because we live in a world that encourages the opposite. But that doesn't mean it's right for you. No one can decide what struggle or success looks like in someone else's life. You get to choose that. And if you don't, then society will decide for you.
People will belittle your plan. People will tell you that you have the wrong vision. People will tell you that it will not work. But here's the thing. It's not their vision. It's your vision. It wasn't given to them, but there will be people who will try to tear it down, who will tell you you don't have what it takes, who will tell you that this is impossible,
who will tell you that you need to be realistic, but nothing great has ever happened from being realistic in their own hearts. Small minds cannot see a big plane.
The higher you fly, the deeper you fall. Okay? So if you want to fly high, do it. But if you fly high without somebody telling you before you're starting the flight that there will also come the descent, then I think it's kind of blind. Just keep it in mind that there is something in our lifetime which is always balancing out.
This idea of being happy is this concept that people have been sold, right? That life is about happiness. But what if life wasn't about happiness? What if life is about experiencing every aspect and every emotion that life has? Wouldn't you want to experience the full set and range of emotions that life has to offer you? The sadness, the heartbreaks, the joy.
When you have butterflies and you're feeling anxious and you have anxiety or nervous, that's when you're most powerful, I believe. A lot of people, instead of homing this power and using it, they allow it to just consume them. A big challenge or big pressure is like a fire. It's like a raging fire. Either you can allow this fire to consume you and just take you over completely, or you can gain control of this fire and harness it.
If you can dream it, it can potentially become yours with the right energy input, the amount of work ethic necessary, and a good attitude. Understand that you have one life. How you live it is your choice, but life will pass you by. You don't want to be the person that wakes up 30, 40, 50 years from now and regrets what they did.
You know, sometimes I think that you really forget who you are. And you have this energy about you. It's in your soul. It's just part of who you are. I can see it. Other people can see it. And I know that you certainly feel it. And this energy that you have, it's gravitating you towards something great in this life. But I think that you allow daily inconveniences or worries that you have about the future or the past to get in the way of that. And it's painful to see far too many people in this world fall short of their true potential for the same reasons. They think their way out of happiness and into worry, and it takes away their ability to fully embrace the gift that they have, what makes them who they are. And ultimately, they lose sight of the path, the journey that they were put here on this earth to explore. I don't want that to be you.
Self-reliance means you simply look mostly to yourself. It would be nice if someone just gave you this, gave you this, gave you this. It would be nice if everyone did their job exactly as they're supposed to do it. But here's what you've got to do. Primarily rely on yourself. Primarily say, I'm the person responsible. And I will learn the necessary skills so that I can help people learn their skills. Self-reliance. Primarily relearning to count on yourself. So that you can do this, never complain and never explain.
And I've come to the conclusion that you and I are capable of doing whatever we can see. If we can hold it in our head, we can hold it in our hand. We've got to step out and do different. We've got to quit playing like this is a game. We've got to treat life like what it is. It's sacred. Yet we're capable of doing anything we want. But we've got to do it. It ain't going to happen for us. You see, I think this is very important we focus on this. Focus on right now, because that is all you've got. There isn't any past, there isn't any future. Now's it. That's it. When the sand's gone, it's gone. Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time we get all there is? It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're going to figure it out.
Dreams they should be pure. I think a lot of times, when we're born into this world, we actually wind up going backwards. And it seems like the more we mature, the more responsible our dreams become. And the more governors we put on ourselves and our ability to dream and to reimagine. And it's always a fight. Make sure that your dreams always stay pure. And so it's not a matter of pushing beyond your limitations or expectations. It's really a matter of protecting your dreams, protecting your imagination. That's really the key. And when you do that, then the world just seems limitless.
Don't underestimate yourself. And don't undervalue yourself either. You should be confident in who you are. Embrace what makes you you. Pursue that path, the journey. Fully embrace it. And it doesn't really matter what happens along the way, because it's meant for you, regardless if it's good or bad. And don't let fear paralyze you, prevent you from ever taking the first step. You were meant to prevail above all else. Any adversity that you run into along the way is not something to hide or cower away from, to be fearful of. It is a blessing, an opportunity to get to know and truly understand who you are. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I want to see you pursue that journey fully. Don't hold back. Please. Do not hold back.
Belief. Your external world will always be a representation of your internal world, and that your internal world is made up of your beliefs, your convictions, if you like. Another word is faith. It's what you believe or what you have faith in deep down inside. What you believe in, what you have faith in, what interests you, what draws you, what fascinates you is critical. And another word is conviction. You have to believe that it is possible for you to accomplish the goal. You have to believe that it is possible for you to achieve it. For that reason, it's very important that you make your goal believable. Make it achievable. It's better to set a smaller goal at first and accomplish that, and then a larger goal and accomplish that, and then a larger goal and accomplish that.
If you're aiming towards greatness, you don't get there by what other people think. You can't make decisions based on what anyone else thinks. It doesn't work that way. I'm not changing one note with the idea of they might not like this, so I'm going to change the note. Never, ever, ever. Not one note, not one word.
You're one decision away. Literally, you are one decision away from changing. It's a decision away. You're one decision away from changing your life. I hope you make that decision tonight. And I hope you make that decision with what you do tonight.
Success and failure are generally slow processes. Either slowly building things up or gradually tearing them down. And that's why I say you've got to pay attention. You have to watch. You have to watch every single second. Because those seconds, they turn into minutes. And minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into days, and days turn into years. And so, that second that just went by, that counted. And so did that second. And so did that one. And in those precious seconds, you were either building or you were decaying. You were either gaining ground or you were losing ground. In that second. And in every second. Every second counts. So, make every second count.
Someone's out there dying and you can't even wake up when your alarm goes off in the morning. Someone's out there dying and you can't even treat yourself well enough to eat healthy food. Someone wishes they had more time and you can't even get to the gym and move the body that you're so grateful to have. How far into a hole of entitlement do we have to go to learn that our lives should not be reactive? How about we stop treating ourselves well only in response to treating ourselves poorly? How about we stop hiding from our own capability just to preserve a little bit more comfort? One day, that person dying is going to be you. And if all you have to look back on is a life of comfort and entitlement, I promise that'll be a grim finale.
Imagine for a second a world in which you are unanimously adored by millions, but you hate yourself. Are you happy? Is it worth it? And now imagine a world where you're disliked by everybody, but you love yourself. I propose that self-love you would be happier. Because ultimately, in some Taoist roundabout way, the reason we want validation from others is to give us a good enough reason to validate ourselves. And if you compromise yourself in order to gain favor with other people, you'll know. How can you expect to have faith in yourself if you can't even keep your own word? So the problem is, we sacrifice the thing that we want, which is self-worth, for the thing which is supposed to get it, which is validation. Sacrifice self-worth to get validation in the hopes that if we have sufficient validation, we will finally be able to have some self-worth.
Life is continued work. It's constant learning. You know, we should constantly be working, maybe not physically working, but we could be spiritually, emotionally working toward bettering ourselves and bettering the lives of others around us. I don't believe in getting comfortable just because everyone says you've arrived. We should never be comfortable where we are. You know, we should always be aspiring to know more and to better ourselves and to improve ourselves, you know, to improve ourselves. Because that's how we improve the world around us, by working within us.
Just stop talking. You have your vision, you have your business idea, your goal, whatever that may be. Just go. Stop telling everyone what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, because really, no one cares. You know, they might give you an, oh, that's cool, and then forget about it literally 30 seconds later. And I don't say that to be harsh, but the reality is most people just don't care because they have their own life. So now all that you're left with is a watered down idea. You've taken away the essence that made it so special in the first place. And that's why you never end up following through. So just go. You don't need any type of validation or reassurance. You don't need anyone else's support, because this is for you. This is your purpose, your legacy, your path. You have everything you need to take that first step. And I promise you, once you get going, you will never look back.
You know who goes the furthest? The ones who value consistency over perfection. They don't stress over whether those 5 minutes are the best or the worst of their life. They just show up. They get it done. And that's the difference. The 100-hour rule says this: spend just 18 minutes a day, 100 hours a year, on any skill, any discipline, and you'll be better than 95% of the world. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every single day.
It's okay to give up. And that is the instinct you need to fight. You need to push back, to smash into the ground. Do not take the easy way out. Do not give up based on instinct. You need to train that instinct. Your instinct. Train it to say, get up. Go. Fight on. And if that is what you become, if that becomes your fundamental reaction to adversity, if that becomes your gut instinct, then you will overcome just about anything that stands in your path.
You have so much time to live. It's your time. So your goal in life is to realize that that is your treasure. So let's say you're working at that job and you have that horrible boss and you're miserable. You can turn that around and make those 8 hours a lifetime. You tell yourself, maybe I could see that there are things that I can learn even from the worst possible job. So that's how you create a lifetime, by saying, it's mine. I'm going to create something worthwhile out of it. I'm not going to give it away to others. This is my time. I'm going to own it.
What I'm saying is, don't settle. Don't live lives of complacency, because there is so much out there for us. We all have the right to live incredibly fulfilled, incredibly passionate, incredibly joyful lives where you are psyched it's Monday morning, where you are psyched that you're in quarantine with your family, where you are psyched that you get to do what you do every single day. And if something doesn't line up that way, don't put it off. This is your life. No one is going to come and change it for you.
Why couldn't we just be happy being who and what we are? Why is it that we're punished if we don't strive? Couldn't we just be rewarded for who we are? I can understand that, but I don't think that it works. I don't think things function like that. And I don't think probably in the final analysis we really want them to. I don't know if anyone enjoys undeserved reward. It feels creepy, doesn't it, to be rewarded for something you didn't do? When else, the positive emotion that we find sustaining is experienced in relationship to an unachieved goal.
Oh, if you want to begin to grow, you've got to put something out here that you can't reach easily, that has got to make you stretch, got to make you jump for it, got to make you get back a little bit and dig in so that you can take a leap forward. And maybe you jump up there and you miss it and you extend your knees and you come back again and you bust your lip next time. But you keep on, and through that process, you learn how to leap higher. You start challenging yourself to dig deeper, and then you discover some things about you that you don't know right now. Some talents that you have in you that you didn't know that you can do.
Right? Most cats are somebody that works hard. If the situation and the circumstance is what they want it to be, they're gonna come out and they're gonna act accordingly and they're gonna give you everything they got. But a hard worker, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what happened, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna give everything I got to it because I'm looking for something that's totally different. Like, the question becomes this: can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you do?
Nothing's ever gonna be given to you. Everything's gonna be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Right? Like courage. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And so anytime you got to be courageous, let's look at it from the standpoint of dreams, goals, and aspirations. You got your dream, your goal, and your aspiration, and then you got reality. And oftentimes reality doesn't reflect the goal, the dream, and the aspiration. And so when you think courage, like being courageous and following your heart because it somehow knows what you want to do anyway, like it's almost like instinct, right? It's almost like when you feel something that you should do, and for some strange reason, like your mind or your spirit tells you, nah, I don't want to do it, because it takes you outside of your comfort zone and it puts you in a space and place that may be unknown, or it puts you in a space and place of uncharted territory, but you know you should do it. You could feel it, right? And then you go against it. And all it does is make the route a lot longer. That's all it does.
Making promises to yourself that you don't keep. It's saying, I'm going to do this and not doing it.
Because then what happens after that is the self-talk. Self-talk that you create by not upholding the obligations that you make to yourself is ultimately the most destructive thing that you could ever do to yourself. I'm gonna start on Monday. 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 I'm gonna start after the wedding. I'm gonna start after this trip, after summer, after this next holiday, after the holidays, I'm gonna start. Sound familiar? Yeah. That's why you feel like it, because you know that you can do none of that shit and told yourself you should have done.
I wasn't that guy. I failed everything I did the first time. I was known for coming back even harder after I failed. Success isn't a straight line. It's a maze. And when you think you figured that maze out, you hit a wall, and you got to fuck around, start again. Stay hard.
Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's gonna take care of your business like you. Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full.
Everybody talk about how great they want to be until adversity and opposition hits. You judge the true character and caliber of a person by what they stand in times of challenge and opposition.
Things that are robust, that are strong, that are tough, that can take just a lot of abuse before they break, they are still ultimately defined by their breaking point. Something that is anti-fragile, on the other hand, is something that the more you attack it, the more it is pounded on, the stronger it gets. We're tied to something that is truly anti-fragile, that the more somebody comes after it, the more robust it becomes. Being a learner is that answer. Because when it got hard, or when it rained, or when we got hungry, whatever your boys wanted to go out to the club, or whatever the fuck it was, you did it, and you didn't stick through, and that's it. Our life success comes down to little bitty tiny decisions that we make consistently over and over and over again. And if you're making consistent decisions to break your momentum over and over and over again, you're not fucking having it.
If you can just keep believing, when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, just hope. You ain't even really got to believe. All you got to do is hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You just got to hope. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to believe, but you can always be strong enough to just hope. Man, I hope God come get me. I hope I make it.
So I just want to tell you, man, that don't let those thoughts that are trying to kill you. With those thoughts that telling you you're not enough, those thoughts that tell you things won't get better, those thoughts that tell you that you aren't your mistakes, those thoughts that tell you that you aren't your past, those thoughts that tell you that you're worthless. Don't let those thoughts kill you. They're lying to you. Because you're more than that. You're more than a conqueror. You're more than what you're going through. You do have purpose. You are awesome. You are talented. You are beautiful. You are special, despite what you've been going through.
Most of us have been conditioned not to take a risk. People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it's really simple. One word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you're gonna feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're gonna have more to give. And when you're growing and giving is when life is magnificent.
You can't be successful if you say one thing and you do another thing. So I'm here to tell y'all for real, success, number one, starts with you. Like for real, real success is you say one thing, and if you do what you say 70% of the time, you're gonna be average. If you do what you say you're gonna do 80% of the time, you're gonna be real good. And if you do what you say you're gonna do 90% of the time, you're gonna be great. Because very few people do what they say they're gonna do. It sounds good coming off your lips.
When I finally discovered it's all risky, The minute you were born at that risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go.